Bojo, Wabananangokwe and Desnakas, Wabazeshi and Dodem, Anishinaabekwe and Dao, Joanna and Donjaban, Niso, Madewian, Chimiquich. I was raised by a powerhouse single mom who really fought hard to make sure that I was raised in my culture, and she was extremely politically active. So I think I really didn't have a choice. Like in my life, it was sort of, that's the way that I was raised, and I see it as an inherent responsibility to my community to amplify the voices of my people. For so long, our stories have been told for us, about us. You know, people have been telling our stories of resistance from a colonial perspective for hundreds of years now, and I think it's important for us to take back the narrative. You call it a stolen generation. We have the same thing. We call it the 60s scoop, and you know, we need to amplify the voices. We've been silenced, and what we're seeing now with storytelling is removing the tape. You know, I literally see it like this. Raising our voices up again. You can't put people through the kind of institutionalized racism and have policies that are meant to exterminate an entire population and expect them to come out well and healthy. And I think particularly for Indigenous people, when you remove us from the land, when you remove our languages, our ceremonies, and the very root of who we are, then how can we go forward? You know, the only way that we are going to change anything is to heal from that. And that means doing it in our own terms. And that means reclaiming all of the things that were stolen. I definitely understand that intergenerational trauma is a real thing. I feel it in my body. And I think whenever I'm dealing with someplace like Standing Rock or places where I have to experience incredible brutality, police brutality, racism, I feel this surge in my body. I always say it's as though I have 1,000 years of ancestors suddenly awake in my blood. And for me, you know, I come from a family where my father suicided when I was 15. I had my auntie also suicided. All of these intergenerational effects of the schools are very real parts of my life today. You can't just be an ally and say, oh, this terrible thing is happening and I'm going to fix it in this way. If you want to actually be an ally, you have to go into Aboriginal communities and ask them how they would like you to be an ally. And that's real solidarity. Solidarity can't happen from putting your voice over top of an Aboriginal person's voice. You actually have to go and lend your voice to them. I think there's a lot of negative things that people want to talk about in social media, and I think we do need to get our youth outside and away from their phones, but my goodness, I have been able to make connections with First Nations communities around the world that have opened my heart and my spirit and allowed me to connect in ways that I never imagined. And that support, this global support, this global struggle that's the fuel. You know, that's what's going to keep us going, and I think we're power in numbers. So if we can all get together and rise up together, we're going to be unstoppable. And I think it's about time that Indigenous people, Aboriginal people, First Nations, however you want to label us, it's important for us to come together and rise up together.